Hi, my lovelies. Happy Saturday night. Let's dose. It's like so late for me to be dosing, but I had another like super fun pool day, and it turned into like all this drama of my friend's car not starting, and so it ended up like so much later, and now we're like still up. So cheers. Now let's get water. Okay, we got water. So apparently there have been a lot of hateful type comments. I've been so busy I didn't even notice, but bestie Renee like brought it to my attention, and so I started reading some of them. It's kind of been a lot more hate than normal, and there was one in particular that was like an entire novel of, and I will just kind of nutshell this for you guys, but basically saying how this person was saying how sorry they feel for me because I am obviously still very much in my addiction, that I'm basically using on camera, and just basically, yeah, a whole bunch of like how sorry they feel for me, that I'm not, promoting the NA program correctly. Sorry, I know I shouldn't laugh. That one struck me as funny though, because any of you guys probably know that I'm not here to promote the NA program. But anyways, that was kind of the gist of it, but it was long. And I know it very much upset the people in my life who love me. And so I took the time to respond. But from what I got from this comment, this person talked like they knew me. They don't know me, but it sounds like they've been listening, but they haven't been hearing me, obviously. And they also think that I'm slurring my words, which I think is crazy because I'm not slurring my words. Anyways, I wanted to go ahead and address this, but since clearly I'm not being heard in the terms of my explanation, because that was part of the issue, was that my explanation was like pathetic, basically that it was just, that I was just so deep in my addiction that I don't know what I'm even talking about, and then my explaining my methadone is just sad. So I thought about this because although the purpose of me being here is to provide, a safe place for those of us, in this community, and to, educate or whatever, like my goal isn't really to get like people like that to necessarily hear me, but I started thinking about it, and if I could get like even one person who is like extremely closed-minded and uneducated on MAT to hear me, what an accomplishment that could possibly be, because this is how we grow and change the world. And my immediate reaction was to be like, first of all, I'm not here to promote NA. That's not really my jam. And also, if someone is really in recovery, they shouldn't be going around taking personal inventory of others and trying to save them from their life. That's just another form of, as they put it with me, substituting one thing for another, because instead of being in their addiction as they were, they are now trying to be better than everyone, trying to, lord their ways over others, instead of focusing on bettering themselves, instead of looking within and trying to grow. And there were so many ways I could have approached this and gone low, but that's also not how I roll. I am about love, and I am about understanding, and so this will be my approach to the person commenting this, and to all the individuals out there who keep saying I'm just substituting one for another. This is how I want to approach this in terms of the NA program. In NA, we are taught something very important, that in addiction, it only leads to certain things: jails, institutions, and death. So if I am still in my addiction, my first question would be, how did I complete probation? And why am I not continuing to go to jail? My next question would be then, I'm not in an institution either. I know some of them would argue that I need to go to rehab for methadone. I know she had said that it's just that I'm scared to go through withdrawal. I have kicked methadone more times than anyone should. And I have tried that, and I have explained this part that it doesn't work for me. So I want to go back to what I was saying. Why am I not then going through all the other parts that we learn about addiction? If I am in my addiction and needing to find myself and, go to the rooms and get better, why is my entire life being a mom? I spend my days, like today, we went to the pool all day. Then I came home and made dinner, and then I made dinner for everyone. If I was approaching this as someone new trying to find recovery, my life isn't unmanageable, because I remember all the things that we used to read in the meetings and explain, being powerless, etc., etc. I am in therapy, and my counselor is so very proud of everything I am accomplishing. Since getting on methadone, I completed probation. Finally, something that I ran from every program. I was kicked out of every program, but suddenly I completed probation, something I could never do on my DOC. So there's a good question, and I implore the people who believe this to actually have a conversation with me about this. I am not struggling. My life is not falling apart. I was falling apart. My life was completely unmanageable. I was homeless, selling my body, selling my soul, committing crimes, all the things, and getting on methadone. Everything changed. So if that's true, why do I suddenly need help? They say in NA that if your life has become unmanageable, you find yourself in the rooms. My life is the farthest thing from unmanageable. My life is beautiful, and I'm finally confronting everything that I ran from for over 2 decades. Can anyone explain this? If you really believe that you need to save me, then can you explain to me why I'm able to do these things? If I'm trapped in my addiction, if it's so sad, then why am I healing? Why am I learning who I am and becoming proud of who I am after over 2 decades? How can I do these things? And if I was really in my addiction, able to do all these things, then wouldn't that mean I'm not even an addict? I know I am. I'm not debating that. But that is the question I'm posing. If my life is unmanageable, then why isn't it unmanageable? How come I'm doing all the healing and all the recovery if it's not recovery?